green shorts, white stockings. Fulham in their traditional colours of white shirts, black shorts and white stockings. Fulham haven't had the best of this fixture in recent times. In matter of fact, they haven't beaten the Bees in all competitions in the last 21 home matches. Their last one in this fixture at Craven Cottage came back in the third tier back in 1990. That's the type of history that they're trying to reverse this evening. 2 over the kickoff. Don't often see that these days. Brentford get us underway. The first kick of the ball by Mikkel Damsgaard, straight back to his keeper Mark Flecken. Launched forward first time, straight in towards the Fulham penalty area, but it's watched go by Calvin Bassey for a goal kick to be taken by Bernd Leno. Yeah, Fulham's only win in their last 9 league games against Brentford came in their first Premier League meeting in August 2022. That came at the G-Tech Community Stadium. They've secured just 2 victories in their last 21 home matches against the Bees, and that coming in 1990. Both sides have won 19 matches in their previous 54 league encounters. So over time it's been an evenly weighted contest between these 2 West London clubs. Norgard plays it out towards Visa, left hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. Keane Lewis Potter plays it in towards Visa again. And one thing you'll know about Brentford is they get off to the B of the bang. Brian Mbeumo scored 2 goals in the first minute of games in back-to-back weekends. In fact, he's got 3 goals this season, the opening couple of minutes of games, and they look to move forward again, but the ball dispossessed and Fulham recycle it quickly out to Emile Smith-Rowe, left-hand side, driving in the middle of the Brentford half. Adder goes in towards the path of Pereira, cross goes in towards the box, hooked clear by Van den Bergen around the penalty spot. Fulham pick up on the loose second ball. It's in the possession of Iwobi, shorted towards the path of Pereira again. He's got options either side, but moves infield towards the middle. Everybody pretty much back behind the ball for Brentford. Pereira looks up and now moves infield. He's got 2 up against him. It's a great pass towards Smith-Rowe. Couldn't quite stick the ball together. Jimenez will have a shot. Low drilled on his right foot from inside the D towards the bottom left-hand corner, but it's straight into the arms of Mark Flecken, who can comfortably gather the ball in the Brentford goal. Well, one thing you'll expect from these 2 sides is a real attacking endeavour. Both teams play the game in the right way. In fact, Brentford have probably been the most entertaining side this season. They almost lost possession there, but it's recovered well by Ethan Pinnock, who will play it along the left-hand side. Ball goes out. Last touch comes off of Raul Jimenez. Forward throwing 2, Brentford down the left-hand flank, adjacent towards the edge of their penalty area, towards the halfway, where Sanderberg flicks on for the Cottagers. Now back in towards the possession of Calvin Bassey, who will head it back to home and head it back in towards the path of Bernd Leno, the goalkeeper / captain. 2.5 minutes gone here at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, Brentford 0 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Leno will play it out in towards the path of Joachim Andersen, signed from Crystal Palace in the summer. Pereira goes down to the ground, was hit in the head by Vitaly Janelt in the middle of his half, so it's going to be a free kick to Fulham. 2.5 minutes in, goalless at Craven Cottage. The final game of a busy Premier League weekend, which has seen plenty of shocks. It began in the early kick-off on Saturday afternoon. Alexander Isak scoring the only goal of the 12th minute as Newcastle United got the better of Arsenal by a 1-0. Manchester City were also beaten. They lost by 2-1 against AFC Bournemouth. Antoine Semenyo and Evan Nilsson were the goals to make it 2-0 to Bournemouth. Josko Gvardiol gave City hope late on in that particular encounter, and so it's advantaged Liverpool in the title race. A 2-1 victory against Brighton and Hove Albion, but they did have to come back from behind to get those 3 points. Kadioglu giving the Seagulls the lead after a quarter of an hour. Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Salah with 2 goals in 2 minutes in the middle of the second half, rescuing it for Arne Slot's side at Anfield. But here, 3.5 minutes in, Fulham against Brentford, goalless, but it's Brentford with possession and finding themselves in a decent position. Damsgaard, right-hand side, looking to drive, dispossessed by Sanderberger, back in towards the possession of Anthony Robertson, who manages to step his way past Damsgaard, forward on the left-hand side towards Iwobi. Smith-Rowe was making chase, but the ball into him was heavy. Brentford managed to stop the attack in its tracks, and the ball bundles all the way back towards Mark Flecken between the sticks. Flecken, who has been an ever-present pretty much this season in terms of Premier League games. He's played all 10 matches so far. Hakon Ralph Vladimirson has played the couple of League Cup ties that they've played this term into the quarterfinals of that competition. Is Thomas Frank's side after beating Sheffield Wednesday on penalties last week at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Thomas Frank, who's got an excellent record against Fulham in his time as Brentford managers, lost just one of their 4 meetings. That includes, of course, in the Championship, and that defeat was in the Championship playoff final back in 2020. That was when Fulham were under the stewardship of Scott Parker. Brentford were promoted through the playoff final a season later. They got the better of Swansea City and have been ever present in the Premier League ever since. And it's Fulham who regather possession on the halfway. Forward it goes towards Emil Smith-Rowe. Played out towards the left-hand side. Edge of the penalty area. Everton goal towards the near post. It was rebounded back in. Both efforts were fired in by Reece Nelson. Cleared away, but it comes back out towards Robinson. Swings it in first time. On the volley, Pereira inside the box. Fulham appeal for a penalty. The fans at least anyway. The ball bundled away, but Fulham regather it. But it's punted back towards the halfway, where Calvin Bassey will recover the situation for the Cottagers. 5.5 minutes in, Fulham 0, Brentford 0. The first real attack that Fulham have been able to muster in the opening exchanges of this contest. Here's Calvin Bassey along through the middle, but dispossessed. Norgard plays it out towards the path of Damsgaard. Edge of the penalty, cross goes in, right-footed. Cleared away by Sander Burr before it can find Joanna Visa. It's going to be one back on the halfway. Ethan Pinnock in possession for Brentford. Along the line in towards the path of Nathan Collins. Here's Mads Roerslev along this right hand side on the halfway, plays it forward. Norgard, and it goes towards the right hand side where Bremo drives out towards Roerslev. Cross goes into the back post where Key Lewis Potter was there, but it's flicked away by Kenny Tete. The ball goes out of play. It's going to be a Brentford throw in left hand side, edge of the penalty areas. Tete managed to avoid conceding a corner by booting it away at the last. Him and Lewis Potter were scrambling for the ball and around the corner flag on the near side. 6.5 minutes gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 0 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Ethan Pinnock preparing to take a long throw for Brentford on the left hand side as they attack the near side as we look at proceedings at Craven Cottage this evening. The long throw goes in towards the near post. It's flicked on but flicked wide. Looking to get his head to the ball was Nathan Collins at the near stick. Brentford thought the ball had gone, but Leno thought it was still in play. There's a little bit of a kerfuffle as to what did happen there. We're just watching the throw come back in on our pictures. It did go out of play, but Leno got a hand to it and then decided and tried to recycle it. Luckily for him, when he touched the ball it was out of play and it came off of the head of Nathan Collins first, so he is going to be able to take a goal kick, but he was trying a fast one and it didn't quite work out. 7.5 gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 0 in this Monday night Premier League fixture on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Ball booted forward towards the halfway, but Pinnock will recover it. Flicked on by Norgard, flicked over the top towards Bremo, inside the area, couldn't quite get his footing together. Robinson managed to block the ball, and in the end Bert Leno got there. Slides down to gather with both hands. Brentford appealing for a penalty. We're just having a look at a replay on our monitor, and it does look like Anthony Robinson is quite close to the ball with his hand, but doesn't make contact with it. Play goes on, and Fulham had possession on the halfway. It's in the possession of Joachim Andersen. Sanderberg on the halfway, pretty much inside the centre circle, dead bang in the middle of it. Here's Calvin Bassey out towards Robinson left hand side, 5 yards inside the Brentford half, back in towards the path for Bassey again. Everybody back for Brentford inside their own half. Here's Anderson once more, plays it forward along the middle, was looking to play in Andreas Pereira, but it's a heavy ball, blocked off by two, and straight into the arms of Mark Flecken, who goes down as he throws the ball out for a throw. Concern for the Brentford goalkeeper, as we mentioned, Hakon Raf Vladimirson, the Icelandic goalkeeper, will be ready and waiting on the bench if need be, but Thomas Frank just giving out some instructions to Keane Lewis Potter as a couple of Brentford medics attend to their goalkeeper. Gives us an opportunity to tell you what else has happened across the Premier League this weekend. We mentioned the results involving the sides at the top of the table. Down the bottom end of the table, Ipswich and Leicester, the top two in the Championship last season, shared a 1-1 draw, as they did do twice last term. Leif Day is the opener for Ipswich. Jordan Ayew in the 90th minute, equalising for Leicester. Calvin Phillips was sent off for 2 yellow cards there. Nottingham Forest are third in the Premier League table. What a start to the season Nuno Espirito Santo's sides are having. A 3-0 victory against West Ham on Saturday afternoon. Chris Wood continuing his rich vein of goal-scoring form. He opened the scoring midway through the first half before second half strikes by Callum Hudson-Odoi and Onya Aina securing the 3 points. Edson Alvarez was sent off for West Ham just before half-time. Southampton got a priceless 3 points against Everton. Adam Armstrong with a goal 5 minutes from time at St Mary's, whilst in the late game Wolverhampton Wanderers and Crystal Palace shared a 2-2 draw. Sunday, Tottenham scored 4 second-half goals to come back from 1-0 down to beat Aston Villa by 4 goals to 1. Brennan Johnson, a double from Dominic Solanke and James Maddison securing the 3 points for Ange Postecoglou's side, whilst the most drawn game in Premier League history ended that way as Manchester United and Chelsea shared the spoils. Bruno Fernandes' 70th minute penalty was cancelled out 4 minutes later from a thunderous strike, a thunderous volley by Moises Caicedo, quite possibly the goal of the Premier League weekend. Well, Mark Flecken is back up on his feet. No goalkeeper in the Premier League this season has made more saves than him, 27 so far in this campaign, according to Opta Stats. And possessed by Norgard, looks to play it for first time towards Bremo, who's looking to get on the inside of Calvin Bassey, but Bassey stands strong and stands firm, and the ball will go out of play for a Fulham goal kick. 11.5 minutes gone at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, Brentford 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Fulham looking to avoid going 4 league games without a win tonight. They didn't win a Premier League game in October, and they haven't been on a run as bad as this since the end of last season. They did snap that rut on the final day of the 23-24 campaign by getting the better of Luton on the final day of that particular campaign. They had possession here, left hand side, 10 yards from the edge of the Brentford half. Anthony Robinson back in towards the path of Bassey. Berger, who's got Anderson just in behind. Norgard keeping a press on, but Anderson will play it back in towards the path of Leno, who will knock it out towards the left-hand side and towards Robinson. Along that channel towards the halfway, Reece Nelson in possession of the ball for Fulham. Smith-Rowe back to Robinson, chipped it forward towards the halfway. Jimenez being put under pressure by Pinnock. He had a triangle of green shirts in front of him. He manages to get the ball away, and Reece Nelson is away, driving through the middle. He's got 3 in terms of support, but Nelson inside the area. It's a heavy touch once he went inside there. He then went sliding to the ground. He was in a decent position of which to shoot. He had beaten half of the Brentford defence, but then when it came to getting the ball inside the penalty area, he slipped at the most ill-opportune moment. It was an excellent one from him, driving past 2 or 3 Brentford players. Nathan Collins showed him out wide to the left and then slipped as he was forced out wide, and the opportunity came and went for the Cottagers. 13 minutes gone, Fulham 0, Brentford 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. The goal kick by Flecken taken short and lost straight away by Brentford. It was Robinson who regathered possession, but the ball's launched long. Bassey has to hook it back in towards the path for Tete, who's looking to keep it in play, but is unable to do so. And so the ball's going to go out for a Brentford throw, left-hand side, around about 25 yards out from the Fulham goal. The game just beginning to enter a bit of life after what was a cagey opening. Reece Nelson making his second Premier League appearance since June 2020, or his second full Premier League appearance since June 2020, and he nearly capped that return with a goal. But it's a long Ethan Pinnock throw once again that Fulham are going to have to be wary of. Left hand side, adjacent towards the edge of the penalty, but he decides to play it short and back towards Janelt. Will float the ball from left to right, flicked on by Pinnock. Collins couldn't quite get there. Pereira will hook it away for Fulham, brought down first time on the right foot of Nelson. It was a heavy first touch, but was then flung to the floor by the Brentford captain Christian Norgard. Fulham free kick, left hand side in the middle of the Brentford half. 14 minutes gone, Fulham 0, Brentford 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. So far in this game, 4 shots for Fulham compared to none at Brentford. 3 of those shots have been on target. 3 touches in the opposition box compared to 1 for Brentford. And in terms of the possession stats, it's 55% compared to 45% in Fulham's favour so far. Plenty for Thomas Frank to ponder as he heads back to his dugout. Has a chat with a couple of his coaches in that technical area as to what's happened in the opening quarter of an hour or so. Well, his side had possession on the halfway here. Vandenberg on the left flank will pop it back in towards the path of Flecken between the sticks. As we pass the quarter of an hour mark at Craven Cottage, ball launched long but flicked away by Kenny Tete. It's brought down by Anderson. Tete towards the edge of his penalty area. Fulham do well to get it away and find Pereira out towards the middle and in towards the path of Smith Rowe. Heavy first touch but managed to play it out towards Robinson. Looks to drive on this left hand side. Has got Mbremo close by to him. Short in towards the path of Nelson. Back towards Smith Rowe again. Looks to move infield from the left hand side. Nelson in the middle of the Brentford half. Out to the left and Robinson. Smith Rowe inside the penalty area. Shoots! And it's a side-footed effort which takes a deflection en route and wide. It's the best opportunity that either side have had so far. It's going to be a Fulham corner on the left. It was instinctive play by Emil Smith Rowe. Nelson towards Smith Rowe, out towards Robinson. First time pass in towards Emil Smith Rowe, who set himself on the side of his right foot. But his effort blocked towards the near post by Nathan Collins, and out of play for a Fulham corner on the left-hand side as they attack. 16 minutes gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 0 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Andreas Pereira's right-footed in-swinging delivery went straight to the near post and straight into the hands of Mark Flecken. He'll recycle it forward beyond the halfway. Brought down by Anthony Robinson, who's being put under pressure by Brian and Mbremo. Manages to clear it away on the floor. Forward towards Nelson, who's had to track back about 15 yards to really keep a hold of possession. Here's Anderson in the middle. Out towards Tete, right hand side. Forward towards Iwobi, being put under pressure by Vandenberg. Pereira being kept tight by Janelt. Anderson plays it back in towards the path of Bernd Leno. Well, Fulham have a decent record in London derbies. In each of their last 5 they're unbeaten. They've won 2 of them, drawn 3. It's their best run in these types of fixtures since 2006-07 in the Premier League, when they went 7 unbeaten against their fellow capital clubs. And they have a throw in here. Vandenberg intercepting a ball forward on the right hand side, 15 yards from the edge of the Brentford half. Ball goes back in towards the path of Leno, short towards Berger, who'll play it out towards Anderson, lofting it forward towards the halfway, where Smith Rowe hooks it out towards Nelson. Left side, 5 yards inside opposition territory. Look at a drive at Roerslev, brings it infield towards the path for Smith Rowe. Robinson short towards Berger. And again, everybody back from a Brentford perspective. Reece Nelson steps on the inside of 2, gets the better of Mbremo, but he's still looking for that option. Give a go between him and Smith Rowe, and then Nelson will ship it out towards Anderson, to the right side and towards Iwobi. Pereira out to Kenny Tete. Here's Iwobi again. Crossfield ball from right to left, but it's going to be flicked away by Mads Roerslev. Kept in play by Nelson on this left-hand side. Drives past Roerslev, looking to get on the inside of him, but the ball will trickle out of play. Heavy touch on his right foot, and it will go out for a Brentford goal kick. 18.5 minutes on the clock. Fulham 0, Brentford 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service, which will be bringing you Champions League action this midweek. Every single British side across the Champions League, Europa League and Conference League will be covered over the next 3 days. Tomorrow we have Celtic against RB Leipzig, Liverpool up against Bayer Leverkusen, Real Madrid, AC Milan, and Sporting Lisbon up against Manchester City. Very interesting press conference in Portugal this evening with the incumbent Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim, who is going to be in charge of Sporting for that game. All of those matches live tomorrow for you on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service, as Tete takes a throw for Fulham right hand side, 10 yards inside opposition territory. Anderson will play it back in towards the path of Bernd Leno. 3rd season now at Fulham, joined him after gaining promotion back to the Premier League. Leaving Arsenal once Aaron Ramsdale assumed the position between the sticks. Here's Mill Smith-Rowe now for Fulham on the halfway. Out in towards the path for Kenny Tete, driving down this right-hand side, advancing towards the edge of the box. Iwobi is making an infield underlapping run, but plays it towards Smith-Rowe. Iwobi, dead centre, driving past to look to play it out towards Jimenez on the right side, just inside the box. Brentford just about managed to clear their lines, but intercepted by Pereira. One back by Kenny Tete. Pereira slides past two. Kenny Tete towards Pereira, who's brought down by Norgard towards the edge of the box, but it was a fair challenge in the eyes of the referee. Berger out towards Nelson, steps past two, inside the area. Reece Nelson fires it wide, a goal. It was a decent effort on his right foot. It was low drilled towards the bottom left hand corner, but he could only drill it right at target. He's getting himself into some decent pockets of spaces, Reece Nelson. Played in well by Sander Berger. Got the better of Worslev, showed the inside of him, and then he managed to get the better of Nathan Collins as well. Was able to fashion a chance on his right foot, but could only glance it wide of the near post. Brentford defensively are all at sea, and in from the goal kick, they're being put under pressure. Fulham really have come out on the front foot, and it's being paid dividends to a certain extent without getting that opener so far. 21 minutes on the clock. Midway through this first half, pretty much at Craven Cottage. It's Fulham 0, Brentford 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service, where we'll be bringing you Champions League, Europa League and Conference League action throughout the course of the week. On Wednesday night, we have Club Brugge against Aston Villa, Bayern Munich up against Benfica, Inter Milan's clash against Arsenal, and Red Star Belgrade up against Barcelona. All those games are live with us on Wednesday night in the Champions League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Here's Joachim Andersen for Fulham. Plays it forward beyond the halfway. Looking to play an Alex Iwobi, but it's going to be watched by Vandenberg, who will play it in towards the possession of Flecken, who's been put under pressure by Iwobi, but cleared away by the Brentford keeper. Long kick on his right foot in towards opposition territory. One back by the opposition. Robinson will play it back in towards the path of Bernd Leno. In turn, will play it short in towards the path of Anderson. Kenny Tete being put under pressure by Lewis Potter. Anderson launches it forward towards the halfway. Jimenez and Vandenberg were involved in a little bit of a tussle for the ball, but it's going to be one back by the Cottagers. Anderson lofting it out towards Smith-Rowe, towards the halfway, and Reece Nelson back towards his colleague on that left-hand side, Anthony Robinson. And here's Sander Berger, right in the middle of play for Fulham. And now he finds the ball in the centre circle after a give-a-go with Joachim Andersen. Berger out to Robinson, left-hand side, first-time pass, looking to find Reece Nelson. Brentford come away with it. Here's Norgard on the half. Crossfield ball out towards the left, chested down with the first touch of Keane Lewis Potter. He's had the fewest touches of anybody in this game so far. Busquets on the inside, hooks the ball in right-footed. Was looking to find Joanna Visa at the back post, but Bertnano came out and took charge of his penalty area, catching the ball going down to the ground. Brentford haven't really shown much in terms of attacking endeavour so far in this opening period, but one thing we know about Keane Lewis Potter is when he opens up that right foot, he has got a real good delivery on him. That's something that Fulham will be wary of as the evening progresses. Short kick from Leno towards Robinson. Forward first tie towards Jimenez. Smith-Rowe loses out. Brentford hook the ball up. Brought down by Batty. Heavy touch. Norgard wins it. Visa in towards the possession of Damsgaard. And it's an Everton goal! A superb strike by Vitaly Janelt, who found himself in space 25 yards out. Opened up his left foot and unleashed a cracker. You have to say it's a goal against the run of play, but it's Brentford midway through this first half that find themselves in front. Vitaly Janelt with the goal for Brentford, who leads here at Craven Cottage, his first goal of the season. Completely against the run of play. Fulham give possession away. Bassi losing out towards Norgard, who then played in Janelt, took a touch and then struck it sweetly through the laces 25 yards out. in towards the bottom right-hand corner. Bernd Leno at full stretch, diving, trying to get there. He outstretched his left hand, but he just couldn't quite get there quickly enough. And Brentford, who have been outplayed for large swathes of this first half, find themselves in front. Vitaly Janelt's first goal of the season. And once again, Brentford find themselves in front. But no team in the Premier League this season have dropped more points from winning positions than Thomas Frank's side. They have dropped 11 points from winning positions. Thomas Frank having a chat with his coaching staff, hoping that is a trend that stops here. But Fulham instantly try to apply. Jimenez towards Iwobi, 25 yards out, but play will stop as Joana Visa finds herself down on the ground following a challenge by Raul Jimenez, who is pleading his innocence. Referee this evening, Stuart Atwell, who is being told by Raul Jimenez exactly how that play panned out. A concerned look on the face of Marco Silva, the Fulham manager. His side really have dominated in the opening half of this first half. Definitely a goal against the run of play. But Brentford do have this quality that once they find themselves in a decent position, they are deadly in attack. And Vitaly Janelt with a real flair goal, what many youngsters would call a Barclays man goal. Brentford lead 1-0. They've got a lead to protect, but they haven't been good at protecting them this season. As I mentioned, 11 points have been dropped from winning positions so far in this campaign. Ball launched forward, flicked on by Tete on the half. Cleared away, hooked clear by Vitaly Janelt, whose goal is the difference between the two sides. Headed on by Damsgaard. Janelt towards Visa, was looking to launch out towards Mbeumo on the right hand side. Space had opened up for Fulham, but Nelson goes down under the challenge of Mikael Damsgaard. It's going to be a free kick to Fulham down the centre, 10 yards out from the Brentford half. 26.5 minutes gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 1. Fulham looking to apply straight away. Andreas Pereira with the ball, the penalty on the right hand side, but he was being shown to the ball out of play by Sepp van den Berg. It's going to be a Fulham corner on the right, which Pereira will swing in right footed. All the big bodies come forward. Well, since April 2024, Fulham have had 86 corners. They haven't scored from any of them. Maybe now is the time for that trend to change. 27 gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 1. Pereira's corner in towards the penalty spot was nearly hit home by Raul Jimenez. He couldn't get a shot away. It's cleared in the end by Nathan Collins for Brentford. Out for a Fulham throw. Pereira takes right side, adjacent towards the penalty spot, back towards Smith Rowe. Here's Alex Iwobi now for Fulham, in towards the path of Joachim Andersen. Here's Calvin Bassey in possession. Robertson out to his left if he wants him. Edge of the penalty area, has possession. Was up against Rohr's left. Bassey, cross goes in, left footed towards the penalty spot. Flicked away by Pinnock, but it's going to be won back by Pereira, edge of the box. Plays it towards the path of Jimenez towards the byline. Heavy first touch, cleared away by Brentford, and who looked to move themselves away on that left hand side. Keane Lewis Potter doing a great job defensively there, was looking to gather the ball forward just a bit further up the pitch. Losing out. Fulham with possession on the half. Bassey through the middle towards Emil Smith Rowe. Back towards Bassey again. Anthony Robinson out on this left hand side. Smith Rowe 30 yards out from goal. Robinson edge of the box. Plays it in towards Reece Nelson. Inside the penalty, has to traverse outside to play it back to Smith Rowe. Hooks the ball in. Was looking to find Alex Iwobi in and around the 6 yard box, but it was a heavy cross in which went high and over the bar for a Brentford goal kick. 28.5 gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Reminder, we have Europa League and Conference League action for you on Thursday night. 3 games for you from the Europa League. Galatasaray against Tottenham and Olympiacos against Rangers at 5:45. Whilst at 8 o'clock in the Europa League, we have Manchester United up against PAOK. Whilst in the Conference League, we have Chelsea against Noah and Lens game against St Gallen for you, all live on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service from the Europa League and Conference League this Thursday evening. Every round of the UEFA competitions will be live with you across Flash Score, as well as every round of Premier League games, and Selected matches 2 for the EPL Championship. Big games at the top of the table we'll have for you as the season progresses, including the end of season playoffs, to see who will join the Elite 20 in the Premier League. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to download the Flash Score app on the Apple App Store and Google Play. So if you want to keep across all the goals from the Championship tomorrow and Wednesday evening, you can do at the touch of a button by clicking the notification feature on the app to get goals first to your phone. Fulham with possession on the halfway on the right hand side. Raul Jimenez loses out. Brought down to the ground is Yannick, the goal scorer. Him and Tete having a decent battle on this near side. Ball goes out for a throw. Fulham insist that it's theirs, but it looks like the linesman is flagged to the left of him, and that has angered Marco Silva, who is having a long conversation with the fourth official. The throw-in goes Brentford's way, taken by Van den Berg on this near side, pretty much on the halfway line between the two technical areas, which was why Marco Silva was as frustrated as he was that the decision went against him, because he was right in front of that part of the pitch and that part of play. Here's Ethan Pinnock in the middle of the Brentford half on the left-hand side. Half an hour has passed here at Craven Cottage. Vitali Janelt's first goal of the season in the 24th minute. A superb strike from around about 25 yards out has given Brentford a 1-0 lead against Fulham at Craven Cottage. They look to press for a second, and Burmo, right-hand side, 25 yards out from goal, but the ball has to go back towards halfway. Van den Berg chips it forward, looking to find its way towards Roerslev inside the area, but Andy Roberts has done a superb job to block off the supply line and block off Roerslev, and the ball will head out of play for a Fulham goal kick. 31 gone, Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score live audio commentary service. Well, Brentford's 4 league wins this season have come in home games, and here's an interesting quirk for you. They came in games against sides that began the match round in 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th in the table. They're yet to pick up a point on their travels so far this season, as Fulham look to move their way forward again. It will be stopped in his tracks by Yano, who's had a superb first half. Visa and Damsgaard were caught up in a bit of a mix on the halfway, but Brentford do manage to bring the ball out to the left-hand side. Here's Damsgaard up against Pereira. Smith Rowe manages to win it back towards Raul Jimenez. Smith Rowe driving through the middle. Couple of players down, but Smith Rowe 25 yards out towards Pereira. Edge of the D, opens up his right foot, looked up, went for goal. His effort blocked off of Yadel. Still a couple of players down, Jimenez and Norgard in the middle of the pitch, and Stuart Atwell will stop play as a consequence with both players down on the deck. They had a bit of a collision in the middle of the field. Jimenez looking to thread the ball forward, went down to the ground, and then as he went down, his trailing leg just clipped that of Christian Norgard. It is the Fulham man who it looked like's come off worse, moving gingerly as he gets back up to his feet. Concerned look of one or two in the crowd at Craven Cottage this evening. Remember, we will have the Championship for you tomorrow night. Every single game available on the Flash Score app. It was a really big weekend across that particular division. The leaders Sunderland dropped points against Queen's Park Rangers. A 0-0 draw at Loftus Road. Joe Bellingham was sent on midway through the second half. Burnley lost by a 0 to Millwall. A Cooper goal 7 minutes after the restart, the Den securing the 3 points for them. Leeds United jumped up to second with a 3-0 win against Plymouth Argyle. 3 goals in 8 minutes in the first half for Daniel Farker's side against Plymouth Argyle, managed by Wayne Rooney. We'll tell you more about the rest of the scores from across the second tier over the course of the weekend in a second. Brentford losing possession. Pereira regathering it for the Cottagers towards Robinson. Goes out towards Reece Nelson. Had 2 up against him, but does well to play it back into the path of Robinson. Left side towards the edge of his penalty area. Bassi right by his own corner flank on the far side. Launches it for first time on his left foot. Jimenez couldn't quite get there, and so Pinnock will launch it back in towards dangerous territory, but Bassi will take command of the situation. But it's a heavy touch, heavy pass out towards Robinson, and so Brentford will have a throw on the right hand side, round about 25 yards. In fact, it's gone for a Fulham throw. Last touch came off of a Brentford player. Misplaced pass, but it took a deflection en route. Here's Smith Rowe driving through the middle here for Fulham. He's got options out on the right. He had Tete, he has Iwobi. Iwobi he finds. Tete making an overlapping run. Iwobi moving in field, edge of the area. Smith Rowe heavy first touch. Norgard clears it away. Damsgaard loses it to Berger. Fulham with possession, edge of the box. Reece Nelson left hand side. Cross goes in towards the back post. Jimenez was shoved off the ball. Fulham appeal for a penalty. Stuart Atwell waves his arms out in the air saying that nothing's going to be done from his perspective, and that it was excellent defending by Sepp van den Berg, who just made himself strong and was too strong for Raul Jimenez. Pinnock then headed it away. It's going to be a Fulham corner on the right hand side. The Cottagers still appeal for the penalty, but it looks like their appeals are going to be in vain. 10 minutes to go to the break. Fulham 0, Brentford 1. Pereira's corner, right side. Right foot and in-swinging delivery. Flicked away by Norgard at the near post. Comes back out towards Robinson. Here's Smith Rowe. Around about 25 yards from goal on the right-hand side. Pereira forward towards Tete. Edge of the box up against Norgard. Tete back in towards the possession of Andreas Pereira. Here's Joachim Andersen towards Iwobi. In the middle, 25 yards out. And now in towards the path for Smith Rowe. Robinson makes the run on the left side, hooks it back across the penalty area, cleared away before finding Nelson in and around the 6-yard penalty spot, and if it found him it probably would have been 1-1. Bassi recovers it towards Berger, in towards the path of Iwobi now, in the centre, out towards Tete on the right hand side, edge of the box. He's got two up against him, plays it back in towards the path of Pereira, who drives a Damsgaard, spins him to the floor, gets a cross in right footed towards the near post, but it's cleared away by Ethan Pinnock. Out as far as Iwobi. Now towards Bassi in the middle of the Brentford half, driving forward through the centre, out towards Robinson left side, edge of the box, back to Bassi again. Smith Rowe, Nelson, Smith Rowe again, Nelson. Another give and go between him and Smith Rowe, out to Robinson, cross goes in left side, flicked away by Nathan Collins, and Brentford look to get away with the ball with Brian and Buemo. Forward it goes, but dispossessed. One back by Sander Berger in the middle of the field. Out towards Iwobi. Kenny Tete, right side, edge of the penalty area. Being put under pressure by Keane Lewis Potter. Stepping inside is Iwobi. One back by Damsgaard, who goes down to the ground under the challenger Kenny Tete. All fair in the eyes of the referee. Damsgaard back up on his feet. Fulham regather possession with Bassi. Two out wide on the left. Nelson. Robinson making an overlapping run, but Smith Rowe was inside. Eventually Robinson gets it on the left flank towards the edge of the penalty area. Nelson to Smith Rowe. Robinson. Nelson again. Berger. Triangular passing play here for Fulham. Bassi towards Anderson. Looks up 25 yards from goal, but plays it out towards Tete. Here's Iwobi being put under pressure by Van den Berg. Tete towards Anderson. Bassi. And now Brentford begin to commit bodies on the press as they realise Fulham are being submerged further back and now retreating to inside their own half and attacking position and seeing the ball go all the way back towards Burton between the sticks. 37.5 play. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. It's Burton Leno, the Fulham goalkeeper, with possession, plays it out towards Anderson. Forward towards the halfway, loses out, flicked on by Pinnock, but regathered by Raul Jimenez on this near side. Forward towards Iwobi, first time pass towards Tete, out towards Jimenez on the right hand side, keeps it in play. He is up against Van den Berg, plays it infield to the centre. Pereira 25 yards out. It wasn't the most perfect pass towards Robinson, but he manages to fling it in towards the path of Nelson. Back to goal, turns in the area, cross goes in right footed, flicked away by Ethan Pinnock in and around the 6-yard box. Out it will go for a Fulham throw on the left hand side, adjacent towards the penalty spot. 38.5 gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Bassi short towards Sander Berger. This is Kenny Tete now. Alex Iwobi in possession for Fulham. Has two up against him, plays it in towards the path for Tete. Fulham with possession in the middle of the Brentford half. Berger out towards Iwobi, right side, advancing and edging ever closer towards the penalty area. Hooks it in left footed towards the penalty spot. Jimenez was there, but it's only half cleared. One back by Robinson, flicked on by Pereira. Brentford half clear their lines once more. Tete, Iwobi, Tete, edge of the penalty area, two up against him. Excellent defended by Damsgaard, who managed to get it away. As originally then one back by Fulham, but then recovered by Keane Lewis Potter. Damsgaard forward, losing out to Joachim Andersen, who came sliding in with a challenge, but his challenge and his touch will see the ball go out of play for a Brentford goal kick. 39.5 minutes gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service at the end of what's been a busy weekend of football across Flash Score. We had plenty of action from the Championship at the weekend. Friday night, Luton and West Brom shared a 1-1 draw. Finished Blackburn 0, Sheffield United 2, Oxford 1, Swansea 2, Stoke 2, Derby 1, Cardiff 2, Norwich 1, Hull and Portsmouth shared a 1-1 draw. Leeds beat Plymouth 3-0. Coventry got the better of Middlesbrough at the Riverside by the same score. Bristol City beat Preston North End by 3-1, goalless between QPR and Sunderland. Watford beat Sheffield Wednesday by 6-2, whilst Millwall beat Burnley by 1-0. Iwobi right hand side, enter the penalty area here for Fulham, hooks the ball in right footed, was looking to find Raul Jimenez in and around the 6-yard box on the far side, but the ball goes from one flank to the other and had a play for Brentford throw. The right hand side is their attack and pretty much dead bang in the middle of their own half as we enter the final 5 minutes of normal time in this opening period. You have just joined us for Tyler Janelt's strike in the 24th minute, the difference between the two teams here at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, Brentford 1. Janelt with his first goal of the season in all competitions. Brentford looking for their first Premier League point on the road this season. As for Fulham, as far as their home form is concerned, and as far as their Monday night form is concerned, it really is cause for alarm. They've lost 6 of their last 7 league games that have been played on a Monday night. They find themselves possibly in a bit of trouble here, and Buemo gets away on the right hand side, being kept tight by Bassi by the far hand corner flag. Them two involved in a real scrap for the ball, and Buemo then clips Bassi down to the ground, and Fulham will win themselves a free kick on the far side, the left hand side, as they attack him this first half. 41.5 minutes play. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Buemo, who's been very quiet in this game so far, 8 league goals for him so far this season, second in the Premier League goal scoring charts behind who else but Erling Haaland in the early portion of this Premier League campaign. Free kick launched forward by Leno just beyond the centre circle, was flicked on by Jimenez but hooked clear by Pinnock towards the halfway. One back by Visa, but Pereira comes jumping in, sends Visa to the floor, but a fair challenge in the eyes of Stuart Atwell. Anderson out towards Tete, who will play it back in towards the possession of Bernd Leno in the Fulham goal. Launched for first time on his right foot towards the halfway, flicked on by Vandenberg. The ball falls loose on the half, but Brentford thought they'd regathered it, but Pereira's done very well to get the better of Key Lewis Potter. Plays it out towards Smith Rowe. There's space on this left hand side, but Smith Rowe moves infield, out in towards the path of Bassi. Chips it in, flicked on, Smith Rowe towards Nelson. The keeper's down on the ground. The ball dropped loose inside the 6-yard box, but it's going to be a free kick to Brentford. Flecken went down, illegally so in the eyes of the referee, but Fulham found themselves in plenty of space in a dangerous area. Brentford defensively are at 6s and 7s. Smith Rowe driving through the middle, then played the ball out in towards the path of Bassi. Cross went in, flicked on by Smith Rowe, looking to find Nelson, couldn't quite get there, and then it was cleared in the end by Flecken, who'd won his side a free kick in any instance. 2 minutes of this opening half to go. Fulham 0, Brentford 1. Ball flicked on by Visa for Brentford, looking to find Mbeumo inside the box, but it's going to be comfortably dealt with by Bernd Leno between the sticks, who so far this season for Fulham has played 9 of their 11 games, hasn't played in the cup matches this term. Here's Norgard on the halfway, out towards the path of Damsgaard. Roerslev on the right, in the middle of the Fulham half. Final minute or so of normal time at the end of this first half. Fulham 0, Brentford 1. Brentford looking to add a second before half time, but the advancing run of Roerslev will be left in vain. Alex Iwobi back towards Calvin Bassi. Now Leno will launch it out towards the left side. Well back by Brentford, but cleared away, hook clear by Robinson. Headed on by Vitaly Janelt, but it's fallen loose here. Lewis Potter inside the box, left-hand side, steps in field, plays it back, first time effort, and it was by Vitaly Janelt again, who managed to find himself in a decent position. First time effort on his left foot, it hit a Fulham body en route, it's going to go out for a corner, came off a Kenny Tete in the end. Vitaly Janelt has found himself into some decent positions, but unable to find his second of the game. It would have been his second of the season. It's going to be a corner to Brentford on the left-hand side. The final action of normal time in this first half. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service as we stray into stoppage time. 2 minutes added on at the end of this first half. Corner swung in, right-footed from the left-hand side. Flicked away, but it's can't come back for Janelt once more. It's going to be reclaimed by Nathan Collins, put back in by Worslev, only half clear, and then punted away by Reece Nelson. And Bremer on the halfway will knock it straight back in towards the path of Mark Flecken. Forward it goes, right-footed, out towards the right-hand side, but it's too heavy a pass for Mads Worslev, and so we'll go out for a Fulham throw on the left as they attack in the middle of their half. The first 30 seconds to the 2 minutes added on at the end of the first half have been played. Fulham trailing Brentford by a goal to nil here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Vitaly Janelt strike in the 24th minute, the difference between the two teams. Fulham with possession on the halfway, and in terms of the way this game has gone, in terms of patterns of play, Fulham have dominated it. They've had a couple of decent opportunities, but nothing really clear cut in this first half. Their possession and pressure haven't really paid dividends at all. Brentford taking the one real chance they had. Vitaly Janelt had another half-decent opportunity a few moments ago, which came off of the leg of Kenny Tete, and it is the Bees that have themselves a free kick on this near side, 25 yards out from their own goal. Marco Silva having a conversation with the fourth official, Thomas Frank, having a conversation with his coaching staff. Maybe he won't be overly enamoured with the performance of the first half, but he'll be happy enough with the scoreline. Brentford, who remember haven't picked up a point on their travels in the Premier League this season. Iwobi losing out to Nathan Collins, driving forward on the right hand side. Ball goes out of play. There's a heavy touch by Collins. It's going to go for a Fulham throw to be taken by Anthony Robinson on the left hand side, adjacent towards the edge of his own penalty area as we cross the 2 minutes added on at the end of this first half. This will most likely be the final knock-in of the opening period as the ball goes forward. The whistle goes to half-time, and Brentford lead at the break against Fulham. In an all-green away kit. The two lineups look as follows as Fulham win a throw on the left-hand side in the middle of the Brentford half. For the Cottagers, Lennon in goal, Tete, Anderson, Bassi, Robinson, Pereira, Berger, Nelson, Smith-Rowe, Iwobi and Jimenez. And they win an early free kick in this second half here as Alex Iwobi goes down to the ground on the left-hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. 30 seconds into this second period, brought down under the challenge of Mads Roerslev, the Brentford right back. And an opportunity here for Fulham to swing one into the box. He's going to be taken on the right foot of Andreas Pereira. Left hand side will be a right footed in swinging delivery from the edge of the penalty area. One player in the Brentford wall, and the Bees keeping a high line towards the penalty spot. Pereira the free kick, and Bremer the one player in the Brentford wall. He goes through it, it's swung in, flicked away by Brentford. Tete looked to get a head in there, flicked back on by Robinson. He'll come back out towards Jimenez on the left side. Three Brentford shirts up against him. Here's Robinson now out in towards the path of Pereira. Forward in towards Iwobi, left side, edge of the penalty area. Two up against him, but the flag goes up against the Fulham man. Brentford line-up as follows, also in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Flecken in goal, Roerslev, Collins, Pinnock, Vandenberg, Norgard, Janelt, Mbuemo, Damsgaard, Lewis Potter and Visa at the beginning of this second half. The final game of a Premier League weekend, which has seen defeats for Manchester City and Arsenal, and in fact there's been 16 position changes in the Premier League over the course of this weekend. If Brentford win this game, they will move up to 10th into the top half of the Premier League table at the expense of Newcastle United. If Fulham win, they can do exactly the same. The winner will move into the top half of the table at the end of the 10th match day of the Premier League season. Fulham win themselves a free kick. Bassi wanted to take it quickly on the left-hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. Went down under the challenge of Joanna Visa. Eventually is allowed to take it back in towards the path of Burton. Then, the first 2.5 minutes of this second half have been played at Craven Cottage. No change to the score. Fulham 0, Brentford 1. Ball shipped towards the halfway. Flicked on by Pinnock. Brought down by Lewis Potter. Goes out towards Janet on the left-hand side, who has Anderson up against him, forced him back about 5 yards, and then forced the ball back, which was then knocked out of play by Nelson for Brentford throw on the halfway line, out on the left-hand side as they attack in this second period. Norgard threads it forward. First time ball in towards the box. Bassi gets there before Joanna Visa could have got a touch in and around the penalty spot, and Leno is able to comfortably gather in the Fulham goal. And they were kind of really the opportunities and the chances Brentford were getting. They were on the counter-attack. They were, when Fulham were caught out of possession, or caught in possession, shall I say. Chances have been few and far between, but they've been more ruthless when in front of goal. Fulham have had more touches in the opposition penalty area in this game. They've had more shots on target in this game, but they haven't been able to find that elusive first goal as of yet. Well, they have possession on the right-hand side, and driving forward is Reece Nelson, perhaps Fulham's best player, perhaps the best player on the pitch in the first half. Moves in field towards Iwobi, 25 yards out, steps outside, strikes one on his right foot, but it goes about 2 or 3 yards wide of the bottom left-hand post. First real opportunity for Fulham in this second period. Iwobi getting his shot away on the right-hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. It was a low side-footed effort, but it was 2-3 yards wide of the left-hand post. But Leonard can watch it go for Fulham goal kick, which was knocked out of play by Mbuemo. What shall I say? A Brentford goal kick flicked out of play by Mbuemo. My apologies. Here's Emil Smith-Rowe on the left-hand side, forced back in towards the path for Bassi, and now Burton almost definitely in the Fulham goal. Will play it out in towards the path for Joachim Anderson. Forward it goes, launched right-footed towards the halfway, flicked on by Pinnock, but regathered by Smith-Rowe, who's looking to drive down the middle, launches it out towards Pereira on the right hand side, forward towards Nelson, who gets on the inside of his man, threads it forward towards Jimenez, but it's an excellent challenge by Nathan Collins to stop him in his path. Kane sliding in, stopped him from getting through a goal round Jimenez, and if he got a shot away, then you would have said it was 1-1 because he was about to round the goalkeeper. Brentford looked as if they were able to clear their lines, but the ball go out of play for Fulham throw. We're just having a look at that opportunity again on our monitor. Nelson playing the ball through towards Jimenez, who was making a darting run towards the near post, but Collins reading his run to perfection. Kane diving in, got to the ball and stopping Jimenez in his tracks, but he's in on goal again here. But again Collins stops him, barges him down to the ground. The Fulham fans to the left of us appealing for a penalty, but those shouts in vain. Stuart Atwell, remember the referee this evening. Forward by Dansgaard towards Vito on the halfway, twisting and turning on the halfway line against Emil Smith-Rowe. Played out towards the right hand side and towards Roerslev, stepping on the inside of Alex Iwobi. Here's Ethan Pinnock now, who will play it back in towards the possession of Mark Fleck, towards Nathan Collins, who's had a couple of vital contributions defensively for Brentford over the last couple of minutes. Van den Berg, who has stepped further forward from his left back position. He's pretty much playing to the left of the midfield, playing with two wing backs this evening, Brentford, with Collins and Pinnock keeping defensive stability. Roerslev has moved forward, but not as much of endeavour as Van den Berg, but he does move forward here. Heavy first touch sees Fulham win it back with Bassi on the halfway. Berger out in towards the path of Iwobi, left hand side. Pass forward towards Smith-Rowe. Inside the area, looks to hook it back towards Jimenez. Last touch comes off of Christian Norgard for a Fulham corner on the left hand side. 51.5 minutes played. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Corner is going to be swung in by Andreas Pereira on the left hand side. It's going to be a right-footed, in-swinging delivery from him. Likes of Berger and Anderson making their way towards the back post. And that's exactly where the corner swung into, but flicked away by Brentford. Comes back out towards Robinson. Smith-Rowe towards Pereira, edge of the box left side. Cross goes in right-footed towards the penalty spot. Flicked away by Nathan Collins once more. Vita looks to get it away, but it's going to be recovered by Bassi, who slips and loses out. And then as Vita looked to play it forward, he was deemed to have fouled Bassi in the process, and so Fulham have a free kick, and what could have been a Brentford counter-attack ends up being a Fulham free kick, right-hand side around about 10 yards inside opposition territory. 52.5 minutes played at Craven Cottage. It's Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. It's going to be Andreas Pereira to take this free kick for Fulham. In fact, Bassi will leave it for Pereira. Pings it right-footed, crossfield ball towards the left. Jimenez, left-hand side, plays it out towards the back post, but Nelson didn't make the required one, and the ball will trickle out for a Brentford goal kick. 53 gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 1. The final game of a Premier League weekend, which saw defeats for Manchester City and Liverpool. Manchester City and Arsenal. Liverpool picking up 3 vital points, coming back from behind to beat Brighton. Arsenal lost out in the early kick-off on Saturday. Alexander Isak's goal in the 12th minute, securing a 1-0 win at St James's Park against Newcastle United. Manchester City losing out 2-1 to Bournemouth, and Osemenyo and Evan Nilsson making it 2-0. Oscar Gavadio gave City a glimmer of hope in the final 10 minutes of that game. Brighton and Hove Albion lost 2-1 to Liverpool despite leading at Anfield. Kadioglu giving Fabian Hirschler's side the lead before 2 goals in 2 minutes in the middle of the second half, one by Cody Gakpo and one by Mohamed Salah, sealing the 3 points for Arne Slot's side to have a 2-point lead for Manchester City at the top of the Premier League table after 10 rounds of matches, and that 10th match round will be completed following a full-time whistle here at Craven Cottage between Fulham and Brentford. And it is the Cottagers who are a goal down but find themselves in possession. Berger losing out after a heavy pass by Bassi. Brentford tried to advance their way forward but stopped in their tracks. The ball will head straight back in towards the path of Leno. He'll play it towards Berger. Edge of his penalty area being put under pressure by Visa, who's now pressuring Leno. Goes out towards Anderson. Heavy touch by Tete, but manages to play it back towards his central defensive colleague. One back by Pereira. Smith Rowe driving through the middle on the halfway. Out towards Iwobi. Left hand side. He's on his bike. He's got Robinson in support. Edge of the box Iwobi. Left hand side. Steps inside. Has an effort on his right foot. Blocked by Roerslev. And now Brentford come away with the ball with Brian and Burmo. Driving towards the halfway in the centre. He's got Visa further forward on the left hand side. He finds Visa up against Anderson. Edge of the penalty area. Tete comes tracking back as well. He has to play it back in towards the path for Lewis Potter, who's looking to get the ball in, but he's got 2 up against him as well. Left hand side edge of the box is forced back towards the halfway line and back in towards the path of Nathan Collins towards Pinnock. Now Vitaly Yano, whose goal separates the 2 sides, but Lewis Potter's away on the left hand side, threads it through, was looking to find Ioana Visa inside the penalty area and around the penalty spot, but Kenny Tete came sliding in to knock the ball away for a Brentford corner out on the left hand side as they attack in this second half. 56 minutes gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Mikael Damsgaard to take this corner for Brentford on the left hand side. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinging delivery. 56 minutes gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Damsgaard's delivery. The big bodies towards the back post. It's exactly where it goes. It's flicked away by Fulham. Jimenez looking to win the loose second ball. He does so. Plays it along the left-hand side towards Smith Rowe, who gets away. Not before clattering into Roerslev. The two got in the middle of one another. Roerslev blocking the advancing run of Emil Smith Rowe. And that's going to be enough for the first booking of the evening by the referee Stuart Atwell. It's not been that kind of game where there's been many bad challenges. In fact, technically it's been a very good game, as you kind of would expect from these two sides. Play it very well on the surface. 57 minutes gone. Fulham still to breach this Brentford defence. They've had the chances and the opportunities, but they've had to stay involved 1 or 2 moments for the Bees in the last few minutes. They move forward on this right hand side again. This is Reece Nelson, who was so good in the first time. He's just been closed off a little bit more in this second period. Ball swung out in towards the possession of Robinson. Here's Sander Berger out towards Andreas Pereira. Back in towards the path of Tete on this right hand side. Here's Sander Berger for Fulham. Anderson towards Bassi. Here's Reece Nelson, edge of the penalty area, left-hand side. Robinson made an underlapping run, gets outside the penalty area, looked to pull it back towards the byline. Last touch came off of Vitaly Janelt as the ball trickles out of play, but the flag goes up against Anthony Robinson. 58 minutes gone. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Reminder, Champions League action will be live on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service this week. Every single British side will be covered this week on Flash Score. Tomorrow night, Celtic take on RB Leipzig, Liverpool up against Bayer Leverkusen, Real Madrid up against AC Milan, and Sporting take on Manchester City. All those games live tomorrow on Flash Score as Brentford find their way forward with Lewis Potter inside the penalty area, cuts inside for the left side, strikes one on his right foot, but his effort blazed over the bar. He found himself in space, found himself in a decent position. He'll feel like he probably should have done better from there. It was headed on by Robinson, fell loose, flicked on by Visa out towards Norgard, who shipped it out first side towards Key Lewis Potter. Edge of the area, stepped infield as he entered the penalty area. And then had a go on his right foot, but his effort was unable to be kept low. And so, golden opportunity there for Brentford to have added a second there. As we approach the hour mark at Craven Cottage, Fulham 0, Brentford 1, and Fulham move forward here with Pereira 25 yards out, looking to find Nelson on the left-hand side. Does so, edge of the penalty here. Brentford managed to bring bodies back though. He has two up against him, Nelson. Here's Robinson, in towards the middle, in towards Smith Rowe. Berger up against a sea of green, and a heavy touch by Pereira sees Mbeumo win it away for Brentford. Back towards Norgard, shipped out towards the right-hand side and towards Damsgaard, recovered by Robinson, short towards Reece Nelson. Here's Robinson again. Nelson, left side, 30 yards out from goal towards Sander Berger, looks up in the centre and looking for a teammate in the white shirt. He finds Anderson, and now Iwobi edge of the box. On the right-hand side, has two players up against him, plays it back about 5 yards towards Anderson. Iwobi has got Tete on the right side, exactly who he finds. Infield towards Bird, and now towards Anderson. This is Calvin Bassey. Smith Rowe, back to goal, plays it towards Pereira. He had his back to goal, looked to flick it back towards Jimenez. We pass the hour mark here. Fulham 0, Brentford 1, and the Cottagers pressing home, looking to find an equaliser. Pereira, left side, edge of the box towards Smith Rowe. Nelson enters the penalty area, gets a better Worslev, hooks it towards the back post on his left foot, but it was a heavy ball in towards the path of Alex Iwobi. It's recovered though by Tete, who will play it back in towards the path of Anderson, and now here's Berge, and now here's Smith Rowe down the centre, 30 yards out. Reece Nelson on the left hand side, steps on the inside of Worslev. Nelson, first time ball in towards Berge, he wanted to give and go, but Berge plays it back towards Smith Rowe. Anderson towards Tete, back to goal, turns and plays it out towards Iwobi. Back towards Anderson now, crossed in first time, right footed to the back post, where both Nelson and Robinson were under a bit of a squabble as to who was going to take the shot, and in the end nobody got a touch to it, and now a player will go for a Brentford goal kick. 61 minutes on the clock. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Reminder, the Champions League is back on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service this week, and on Wednesday night 4 more games. Club Brugge up against Aston Villa, Bayern Munich against Benfica, Inter Milan up against Arsenal, and Red Star Belgrade up against Barcelona. Those games available on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service on Wednesday evening. 61.5 played here. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. As Mads Roerslev in possession for Brentford on the right hand side, 5 yards from the edge of the Fulham half. The ball hooked forward but straight in towards the arms of Bernd Leno in the Fulham goal, who will cycle it short in towards the possession of Calvin Bassey. Infield towards Sander Berger. Well, they're looking for that moment of magic, aren't they, from Andreas Pereira? And prior to tonight, only Bukayo Saka had created more chances in the Premier League this season than Andreas Pereira. He's had 26 chances, although none of those chances have been converted by his teammate yet. He's set up 11 different players, with only Tottenham's Dejan Kulusevski creating a chance for more different teammates with 12. And he has been a real focal point once again for Fulham in the middle. Him and Smith Rowe have combined did very well throughout the course of this game. Raul Jimenez has been a bit of a passenger in this game, and he has to receive the ball in the middle of the Brentford half. Out towards Iwobi though, right side. Cross goes in, right footed. Almost found Pereira towards the near post. Bird went down to the ground on the challenge of Visa, who gets it away for Brentford, and now looking to unleash Mbeumo on the right hand side, but the pass out 2-2 heavy. It's going to be a Fulham throw. Robertson to take on the left hand side. 10 yards from the edge of the Brentford half. It's just beginning to become a little bit more end to end. This game becoming just a little bit more open, with just over 25 minutes to go. Brentford leading courtesy of Vitaly Janelt's 24th minute goal to nil here at Crayford Cottage in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Ball flashed out towards Nelson. Good first touch on his right foot to bring it down. Edge of the penalty area. He's got Worslev up against him, and Mbeumo also tracking back. Robinson in towards the path for Smith Rowe. Nelson being put under pressure this time by Damsgaard. Nelson left hand side towards the edge of the box. Finds Smith Rowe. Steps in field inside the penalty area. Plays it back in towards the path of Anderson. Iwobi right side. Edge of the box. Fulham unable to really find a killer ball in the mixer as of yet. Anderson towards Iwobi again, being put under pressure by Vandenberg. Iwobi looks to get the cross in. He does do towards the back post, but Mbeumo was there before Reece Nelson was, and he'll clear the ball out of play. It's going to be a Fulham corner on the left hand side. 64 minutes on the clock. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Going to be Andreas Pereira to take. Left side, it's going to be a right-footed, in-swinging delivery here for Fulham. In it goes towards the near post. Punched away at that near post by Flecken. Hooked further clear by Damsgaard. And out for a Fulham throw in left-hand side in the middle of the Brentford half. It was a teasing corner by Andreas Pereira, who decided to go direct. Punched away by Flecken. Hooked further away by Damsgaard. And Fulham are going to make the first change of the game. And it's going to be the end of the afternoon, or the end of the evening, for Andreas Pereira. He's going to depart, and he's going to be replaced by Adama Traore for the final 25 minutes that remain here at Craven Cottage. Here's Fulham side trailing by 1-0. So first change of the game. First roll of the dice by either manager so far in this contest. Sanderberger in possession for Fulham, in towards the path of Joachim Anderson. Here's Calvin Bassey, who will play it in towards the path of Bernd Leno between the sticks. Well, if Brentford can see it out 1-0, they'll keep a first clean sheet in 11 matches, dating back to a 0-0 home draw against Fulham on the 4th of May. But the Cottagers move forward here on this right-hand side. Iwobi with a cross. He was looking to find Emil Smith-Rowe, but it's straight into the hands of Mark Flecken in the Brentford goal. It was a good ball in. It was a right-footed ball in. There's appeals for a penalty here, which were instantaneously waved away. Ball launched forward, chested down by Kenny Tete for Fulham, out and towards the path of Anthony Robinson, who's got Nelson out towards his left. Mbeumo keeping tight to Robinson. Here's Nelson, gets the better of Mbeumo, left side, edge of the penalty area, towards the byline, hooks it back towards Jimenez, who looked to get a header away from and around the 6-yard box. Comes back out to Tete. He strikes one for around about 25 yards out on the right side through the laces of his right foot towards the right-hand post, but it's a comfortable catch for Mark Flecken in the Brentford goal. 66 and a half minutes played. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Mind on top of the Champions League action that we're bringing to you this midweek, we'll have action from British sides involved in action in the Europa and Conference League on Thursday. In the Europa League, we've got Galatasaray against Tottenham and Olympiacos against Rangers. Manchester United taking on PAOK in the Conference League. Chelsea up against Noah at Stamford Bridge, whilst we'll be watching Larne of the Northern Irish League take on St Gallen. Those games live on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service from the Europa League and the Conference League on Thursday night. As Fulham win a free kick, Norgard bringing down Emil Smith-Rowe. Taken quickly, Berg plays it out in towards the path for Kenny Tete, advancing beyond the halfway on the right-hand side. Here's Adama Traore, driving with his pace towards the edge of the penalty area, up against Vandenberg, steps in field, chips it in right-footed, looking to find Emil Smith Rowe around the 6-yard box, comes back out towards Iwobi, steps in field, strikes one, low drilled on his left foot towards the right-hand post, but it was towards Flecken's near post, who comfortably gathered with both hands in the Brentford goal. And he's been quite lucky this evening, Mark Flecker, that a lot of the shots on goal have pretty much been straight at him. And he'll comfortably take that as food and drink. He clears the ball forward towards the halfway, where Visa loses out. We're gathered by Anderson forward towards the path of Iwobi, who's moved infield towards the centre. Smith Rowe out towards Robinson, left side, chips it in, chested down by Jimenez. It fell awkwardly for him. Brentford managed to clear their lines only as far as Calvin Bassey. Adama Traore's occupied Iwobi's position on the right, and Iwobi's moved into the centre, and Smith Rowe has entered the penalty area for Fulham on this left side, but has 2 green shirts against him. Plays it back towards Robinson, in towards the path of Iwobi now, back towards Anderson. This is Nelson. Robinson chips the ball in towards the penalty spot, flicked away, but it's going to fall for Tete, who has a go on the right-hand side. His effort takes a deflection. The ball did go out of play. Flecken tried to parry it back in, but he'll head out for a Fulham corner on the right-hand side. 69 minutes on the clock. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Charlie Yanelt's goal in the 24th minute, the difference between these two sides at Craven Cottage this evening. For Brentford, it'll be a win that will move them into the top half of the Premier League table, but they have to survive Cottage's set piece here, which will be taken on the right hand side. It's going to be swung in right footed in towards the penalty spot. It's hard cleared by Brentford, comes back out towards Robinson, chips it in left footed towards the back stick. It's flicked on by Tete, but cleared away by Collins. Traore, right side edge of the box, up against Damsgaard. Steps inside of him, inside the box. Traore in towards the path of Bassey, who strikes it first time, but again straight at Mark Flecken in the Brentford goal, straight at his throat, and he can come straight back down to gather it for the Bees, and he can eat up precious seconds with 20 minutes to go, 70 minutes gone. Brentford still leading by a goal to nil. That goal midway through the opening period by Vitaly Yanelt. The difference between the two teams here in our final Premier League fixture of the weekend on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Here's Damsgaard. Fulham pressing Brentford high again. Pinnock, though, able to relax possession for the Bees. Chips it out towards the left-hand side. Flicked on by Lewis Potter, but regathered by Joachim Anderson on the halfway for Fulham. Here's Berg on the half in the centre circle, bang on halfway in the centre, drifts out towards the left hand side and then plays it in towards the path of Robinson. Moving infield is Nelson, weaving past 2, weaving past 3, but he couldn't quite get past Norgard. Visa looked to get it away, but again dispossessed. Smith Rowe forward towards Robinson, who turns well edge of the box, but then couldn't quite get his footing together. Wers left, played it towards Collins, who clears it away for a Fulham throw. Left side, adjacent towards the penalty spot. They wanted it taken quickly, but Stuart Atwell pointing to the 2 changes that Fulham are going to make, and to the 1 change that Brentford are going to make. Mikael Damsgaard's evening is going to come to an end, and he's going to be replaced by Matthias Jensen. Whilst Joanna Visa's night is also going to come to a premature end. And he's going to be replaced by Fabio Carvalho, who was once of Fulham, was on loan here during his time at Liverpool. It was really where he burst out onto the scene. So he comes on to face his former side for the final 20 minutes or so that remain, and it's Keane Lewis Potter that's also departing. It may not be Visa, it may be actually Lewis Potter that's heading off here. Originally the board did say the number 11, but they've decided now that it's going to be the number 23 whose number's up. Well, that is interesting. So it's going to be Guy Lewis Potter who comes off. Now, Rodrigo Muniz is going to come on for Fulham, as is Timothy Castagna. We will get to who has come off and when. Raul Jimenez and Tete have come off for them too. Joachim Andersen strikes one from close range. In fact, Kevin Schrader has come on for Johanna Visa. That didn't quite come up on the wall feed pictures, so apologies about that one. So there is 3 changes for Brentford, 2 more for Fulham. Joys sometimes of not working at games at stadium, working off a picture feed, is you sometimes miss the odd thing or two. So apologies about that. Brentford hoping not to miss a trick here. Leaded by 1-0 with just over a quarter of an hour left to play. Vitaly Janelt striking the 24th minute, the difference between these two sides, but they spent most of this second period with their backs to goal and their backs up against the wall. Fulham trying to carve open opportunity after opportunity to level, but Brentford now looking to go for the throat. Here's Van den Berg, played out in towards the path of Cavallo left hand side, played back towards the halfway and in towards the possession of Nathan Collins, who receives it on the right out towards Ruhr's left, 5 yards inside Fulham territory, giving away Muniz in towards the path of Smith Rowe. Here's Reece Nelson driving down this left hand side for Fulham, sets in field with Kevin Schrader close by to him. Now played back towards Anthony Robinson, who looks up and tries to assess his options. Here's Nelson once again towards Anthony Robinson once more. Here's Calvin Bassey on the halfway for the Cottagers. Anderson has got Castagna out to his right, exactly who he does find. Anderson, crossfield ball, right to left, in towards the path of Nelson. Edge of the penalty area, steps inside, cross goes in, right footed towards Emil Smith Rowe, who's making a near post run, but it's cleared away by Nathan Collins, out for a Fulham corner on the left as we approach the final quarter of an hour or so at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, Brentford 1, and it's going to be Reece Nelson to take this corner on the left hand side for Fulham. It's going to be a right footed in swinging delivery, and everybody hogging towards the 6 yard box. Nelson's corner swung in towards the near post, glanced on by Traore, cleared away by Mbeumo. Emil Smith Rowe trots back to the halfway to regather the ball. Robinson playing in a more central role to regather it. Iwobi out in towards the path of Anderson, who's been shifted out to the right. Iwobi towards Traore, back towards Castagna, floated out to Smith Rowe. It was an awkward first touch, but it's recovered by his teammate Robinson, who finds Smith Rowe again. Nelson driving on the left, Robinson making an overlapping run, gets there, cross goes in first time to the back post, flicked away by Brentford again and by Collins again, regathered though by Anderson. Castagna towards Burr, and Bremo keeping in close company, out towards Reece Nelson, left hand side, pulls it back towards the byline, does well to keep it in play. It was an awkward touch, but plays it back towards Anthony Robinson. Smith Rowe back to goal, in towards the path of Nelson in the centre, edge of the D, out towards Castagna. Everybody in green back for Brentford as Traore on the right hand side, heavy touch, Carvalho almost intercepted, but Traore spins his way out of trouble, plays the ball in towards the box towards the near post, flicked away by Jensen, one back by Iwobi. Bassey 25 yards out in the centre towards Smith Rowe, plays it in towards the box. Reece Nelson couldn't quite get there, the pass by Smith Rowe, which is a bit too heavy. The ball will trickle out for a goal kick. 77 minutes on the clock. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. The match stats in the second half: 7 shots for Fulham compared to 1 of Brentford, 3 shots on target to none, 87 final third passes to 16, 20 crosses compared to 1. Fulham with 70% possession in this second half compared to just 30% of Brentford, but still this stubborn Bees defence are not for budging. They lead 1-0, courtesy of Vitaly Janelt's goal in the middle of the first half. First left on the right hand side, 5 yards from opposition territory, threaded forward towards Bremo, flicked on, Batter couldn't quite get there. Anderson will play it back towards Leno, who will hook it for first tide towards the halfway. Raul Jimenez was being pushed to the ground, but no foul in the eyes of the referee, and Bremo picks it up for Brentford. It's a bit scrappy in the middle of the field, challenges flying in, nobody able to keep possession. It goes all the way back towards Flecken, who will launch it back towards that halfway, and again the ball unable to be kept down, but Brentford, they looked like they were going to being played down for a minute on this right hand side, but it's one back by Berger, who moves infield from the left hand side. Carvalho tugging at his shirt. Smith Rowe in towards the path of Reece Nelson, driving down this left hand side, the near side for Fulham, who's got Smith Rowe close by. Nelson in towards the path of Iwobi, 2 green shirts up against him, back towards Berg, 25 yards out in the centre, out towards Nelson once again, looking to step inside, but he's got Norgard close by, plays it forward in towards the possession of Iwobi. Castagna out towards Smith Rowe, left side edge of the box. Iwobi once again in towards Robinson, plays it back but couldn't quite find Iwobi. It's cleared away by Vitaly Janelt. Robinson looking to pick up on the second ball. It's flicked on and cleared away by Christian Norgard towards the halfway, but play will stop after as Roerslev found himself worse off, chinned in the back of the head by Robinson as they both went for that aerial duel on the near side. And so as per protocol, they just got to make sure he's okay. Reminder as well, we have a full complement of games tomorrow from the EFL Championship, which you can follow on the Flash Score app. Bristol City taking on Sheffield United, Oxford United up against Hull City, Queen's Park Rangers up against Middlesbrough, Sheffield Wednesday up against Norwich City, Plymouth Argyle against Portsmouth, and Swansea City up against Watford. And in League One, 2 games as well, which include Burton Albion against Crawley Town, and second place Wycombe Wanderers make the trip to Edgeley Park to take on Stockport County. You can keep up to date with all the EFL goals this midweek by downloading the Flash Score app, which is available via the Apple App Store or Google Play. It's wherever you get your apps from. You can keep up to date with every single EFL goal first to your phone by clicking on your favourite match and downloading the notification feature. Tom Kearney looks set to come on for Fulham here. We'll also have selected championship matches later on in the season, some of the big games that affect the title race, as well as the EFL playoffs live at the end of the season for you on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. As Roerslev gets himself back to his feet, Rodrigo Muniz has a chat with the referee Stuart Atwell. Play will restart with a uncontested drop ball by Mark Flecken as we head to the final 10 minutes here at Craven Cottage. It's Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Vitaly Janelt's goal in the 24th minute, midway through the first half. The difference between the two sides here at Craven Cottage. Fulham preparing a couple of changes. Harry Wilson and Tom Kearney coming on. Emil Smith-Rowe's afternoon comes to an end. Very lively in the first half, but been kept off the pace of the second. He's going to be the man. He'll be coming off for Harry Wilson, whilst Tom Kearney will come on, and Reece Nelson is going to depart. Eight minutes to go here at Craven Cottage, and it is Brentford with a slender 1-0 lead here against their West London rivals Fulham. A win which will put them into the top half of the Premier League table. They began the night in 11th place, 13 points, 0 goal difference, and they look like they're going to keep up their excellent victory streak here at Craven Cottage. Fulham's last league win here came back in the third tier in 1990 against their opponents tonight. That's how long it's been between drinks for Fulham against their West London rivals. The Meetings between these two haven't been Whitmore as the last couple. The last league meeting between this pair ended in a goalless draw back in May at the G-Tech. Only these solitary goals so far this season, although Fulham press over for an equaliser. Here's Harry Wilson driving through the middle out towards Iwobi, left-hand side towards the box, to hook it in towards Kearney, who was lurking in around the penalty spot and eluded anyone and everyone, but it's won back loosely by Fulham. Adama Traore right side, edge of the penalty area. Cross goes in, right footed towards the back post, flicked away by Rurs left, and it's going to be watched out for a corner for Fulham on this left-hand side. Rurs left with the tele-final touch. Iwobi letting it go for that corner. Marco Silva trudging up and down the Fulham technical area. Frustrated figure. Kearney to take this corner for Fulham. Left-hand side, it's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery. 83 on the clock. Fulham 0, Brentford 1. Kearney's corner towards the penalty spot. Flicked away, regathered by Wilson. He'll chip it out towards the left-hand side and chip it out towards Kearney. Back in towards the path of Iwobi. Looks up, crosses it in towards the penalty spot. It's glanced on by Timothy Castagna, who managed to get the beating of Nathan Collins, but it's straight at Mark Flecken in the Brentford goal. Couldn't quite say it was a clear-cut opportunity, but it was a decent chance for Fulham to get themselves back into a game, and you'd say that they're deserving of at least a point from this particular match, but you have to give credit to Brentford's defence, who since going 1-0 up have been so stoic. They have had opportunities to open up a second, but most of them have kind of been counter-attacking opportunities. Fulham looking to build themselves up for an equalising goal. Here's Alex Iwobi driving through the centre now for the Cottagers, out towards Robinson, left-hand side, inside the box, steps inside, gets a better with two. Robinson looks to hook it back, comes off of Rurs left for another corner on the left-hand side, and Mads Rurs left, the Brentford right back once again being called into action. Anthony Robinson causing all sorts of problems on the left-hand side. It's another corner down that flank. It's going to be taken by Kearney again. Brentford will bring in reinforcements shortly. But first of all, the Kearney corner. Left side, left-footed towards the penalty spot. Glanced on by Joachim Andersen, but straight at Flecken, who dives down low to his right and then heads down to the ground as he catches the ball with both hands as we enter the final 5 minutes of normal time here at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Hooked forward by Flecken. Beyond the halfway on the left-hand side, and Bremo being kept tight towards Anderson. Heavy touch, ball goes out for Fulham throw. Anderson to take it on the right-hand side, back in towards the path of Bert Leno, the Fulham goalkeeper and the Fulham skipper. Now the substitution will be made for Brentford. The evening of Brian and Bremo has come to an end, and he's going to be replaced by Ben Mee for what's left. Brentford happy to protect what they've got in the final 5 minutes or so of normal time that remain here at Craven Cottage. Vitali had out goal midway through the first half. The difference between the two sides: Fulham 0, Brentford 1. 4 minutes of normal time to play here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. The throw to be taken by Fulham on the right hand side towards the edge of their own penalty area, taking short towards the path of Anderson, put under pressure, loses out to Carvalho, who wins it back, edge of the box, slits under the challenge of Anderson, but it was a great one. And now Fulham dart their way forward at the other end. Robinson midway inside the Brentford half as Iwobi out to the left, exactly who he finds, edge of the box, steps in field, ball goes in towards Wilson, almost lurked towards Muniz, but it's cleared away by Schrader for Brentford, who loses out. And now it's a shot on goal by Timothy Castagna, blocked as far as Adama Traore, stepped inside, tried his luck, blocked by Yanel. Kearney out towards Robinson, inside the box, chips it in towards Traore, who brings it down, gets a strike away, comes back in towards Castagna. It's blocked by Ben Mee, out for another Fulham corner on the right hand side. The chances are racking up for the Cottagers, but Brentford still stubbornly keeping their hosts at bay. There was a couple of opportunities in one there, one by Traore, one by Castagna. Corner floated in, Wilson right side, right footed, but it's straight at Flecken in the Brentford goal. It's a waste of a set piece from Fulham, and their fans react accordingly. 2.5 minutes of normal time to go. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. You have just joined us for Tali Janat with his first goal of the season in all competitions in the 24th minute, the difference between the two sides. Brentford, for whom this will be a first clean sheet in 12 games if they can see this out. They conceded 18 goals so far this campaign. It's their most after 9 league games since the 1961-62 campaign, and they're going to have to see out some more Fulham pressure here. Roby left hand side, steps infield around about 30 yards from goal. It's a heavy pass, but it's going to be recovered by Traore on this far side. The right hand touchline, he has possession, drives infield towards the edge of the box, steps past Carvalho. Now looking to get the better of Vandenberg. Let's get the cross in, but it's blocked by the Brentford defender, but it comes back out towards Traore again, back to Berg, who looks up and assesses his options. Traore once again in space. Fulham been good in these types of areas, but haven't been able to get that final ball in. Here's Berg. 90 seconds of normal time remain. Bassi, heavy first touch, strikes one, spilt by the keeper, Flecken, but then manages to regather second time as Rodrigo Muniz came bearing in on goal. Bassi deciding to look up, struck one on his left foot, edge of the penalty area. It was straight at the Brentford goalkeeper, but it was awkward for him. Spilt it, but then managed to regather second time with Rodrigo Muniz bearing in on goal from around about 6 yards out. Manages to clear his lines. Lost it upfield, lost it long, but Fulham regather before Matthias Jensen could. Iwobi left hand side, 10 yards from the edge of opposition territory. Final minute of normal time at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, Brentford 1 in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Bassi towards Kearney, in towards the path for Iwobi, slips a great ball in. Harry Wilson with a strike on his left foot, blocked by Ethan Pinnock, and out for another Fulham corner on the left hand side. Brentford committing every single man, and every man to a T, doing their job defensively, putting their body on the line for their side. Kearney once again, left side, left-footed delivery. Final few seconds of normal time. In towards the penalty spot, flicked away by Pinnock again. It comes back out towards Robinson in the centre, 25 yards out. Plays it out in towards the possession of Alex Iwobi. Here comes Robinson again, in towards the path of Anderson. Robinson as we enter stoppage time at the end of the 90. 6 minutes added on here at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, Brentford 1. Vitaly Janelt's goal midway through the first half. The difference between these two sides. Berger plays it out in towards the path of Castagna. This is Wilson. Castagna again. Cross goes in, right footed towards the near post, but it's a comfortable take for Mark Flecken in the Brentford goal, who comes down low, takes his time. As we have a look at the match stats, 24 shots for Fulham compared to 3 of Brentford, 10 shots on target. Brentford just won the goal. 43 touches in the opposition box, 6 for Brentford, 42 Fulham crosses, 4 for Brentford, 67% possession for Fulham. Brentford with 33. Quite literally, Fulham have done everything other than score here at Craven Cottage. They have dominated this game, apart from the one stat that matters, the scoreline, where they trail Brentford by a goal to nil. The first of 6 minutes of stoppage time. The end of the 90 have elapsed. The ball launched forward towards Traore. Wilson couldn't quite get there. Janelt, whose goal separates the two sides, plays it back towards me, who hooks it away towards the half and Anderson. And now here's Bassi driving through the middle. Kearney, heavy first touch towards Iwobi, left hand side, brings it in towards the centre, 25 yards out from goal. Looking up is Berg. Had an eye for goal for a second, but then plays it out towards Iwobi. Cross goes in. Wilson taps it on and into the back of the net. And finally, the Fulham pressure has paid dividends. And right to the very end, Harry Wilson has found the Cottagers leveller with a superb strike, a backheel strike in towards the top left-hand corner. It's Fulham 1, Brentford 1, and it's a substitute Harry Wilson with a goal. Well, Brentford did so well to see it out for so long, but Fulham have finally found their equaliser. Adama Traore's cross in towards Harry Wilson, in and around the 6-yard box. It's a superb backheeled effort on his left boot in towards the top left-hand corner. Well, that is some way to draw his side level. It goes past a helpless Mark Flecken in the Fulham goal. And Brentford, who have already this season dropped 11 points from winning positions, look as if they may have dropped another 2 here. But there is an inquiry with VAR at Stockley Park over the validity of the goal. But that, no more. And Vitaly Yano, whose goal had given Brentford the lead, has been replaced. And Yeho Yarmoliuk will come on for the final few minutes that remain here. That's the final change either side can make in this match. Fulham back on terms. They have parity here at Craven Cottage. Now, can they find a winner? As once again, Marco Silva has a conversation with the 4th official. But it looks like Harry Wilson, who's going to be the super sub for Fulham this evening. But Brentford with a free kick in the middle of their own half, taken by Flecken forward. Can they find a late winner and instantly cancel out the Fulham riposte? Ball one back by Traore. Forward it goes, but one back by me. In towards the path of Van der Berg, left-hand side in the middle of the Fulham half. Back towards the halfway it goes. Brentford retreating once again. Along that left-hand side, excellent back heel by Schrader. In towards Norgard. Schrader again, left side, in towards the box. Hooks it in towards the back stick where nobody was there. It's going to be recovered loosely by Roerslev, who's up against Robinson. The ball just about stays in play. In towards the path of Collins, edge of the area. Little nick by Robinson, but regathered by Yarmoliuk. His first touch of the game for Brentford. 90 seconds of stoppage time remain at Craven Cottage. Fulham, who have equalised through Harry Wilson's goal in the first minute of stoppage time. 1-1, that cancelling out Vitaly Yanel's opener midway through the first half. Jensen up against Robinson towards the right-hand corner flag. They're both joining for the ball. Robinson gets it away on the left-hand side, in towards the path of Anderson, towards the half. Flicked on by Muniz. Is there time for a Fulham winner here? Muniz couldn't quite get between me and Pinnock. The ball will go back towards Flecken, who will launch it for a first time. Now Brentford looking for a winner. Flicked on by Jensen. In towards Roerslev. Bodies commit towards the penalty area. Roerslev, right hand side, enters the box. Hooks it back in towards the path of Carvalho. Slipped across the penalty area. It's going to fall loose for Yarmoliuk. And suddenly it's Brentford who are lurking at the death. And Bernd Leno with a big interception in the Fulham goal. The Cottagers caught in possession. Calvin Bassey losing it to Roerslev. Hooks it in towards the penalty area. Carvalho with the strike. A great save by Leno. Second chance by Schrader. The third opportunity came in by Yarmoliuk. But somehow Brentford didn't find a late winner. Fulham caught in 6s and 7s at the back. Thomas Frank's hand is quite literally on its head. He's on his knees in the Brentford technical area. But it's a late corner for the Bees. Left side, right footed in swinging delivery. It's going to be Matthias Jensen to take. Swung in towards the near post. Flicked on, but flicked away by Castagna. Norgard was looking to get there. One back by Carvalho. Back into the mixer it goes. It's back-heeled and flicked back in towards the path of Leno. And Fulham still feel there's time to get a winner themselves here. Because of that goal in stoppage time, we're beyond the 6 minutes added on. But it may well just be time for one final play. But it's given away. And Brentford with the ball up in the middle of the air. It's loose on the half. It's one back by Norgard. Intercepted by Iwobi, who drives down the right. There's no way Fulham could find a winner here, could they? Castagna. Kearney on the half. They're pushing and probing for that winner on the Cottagers. Forward towards Robinson. Edge of the penalty area. Inside the box he goes. Left-hand side. Chips into the penalty spot. Flicked on and in! Incredible! It's Harry Wilson again! 2 goals in stoppage time to turn it around for Fulham. And Brentford have let this slip at Craven Cottage. They had led 1-0 going into stoppage time. But 2 acts of intervention, 2 acts of inspiration from Harry Wilson had turned this game on its head. And in the dying seconds of stoppage time, it's Fulham 2, Brentford 1. Harry Wilson, the substitute, with a stoppage time brace. Well, Thomas Frank cannot believe it. Brentford can scarcely believe it. Head in hands, head on hips. A fan's made his way onto the pitch to celebrate with the Fulham players. He'll be swiftly dealt with. But what a super sub Harry Wilson is. Anthony Robinson with the cross. He's been superb all evening. Towards Harry Wilson. In and around the penalty spot. Glance header. In towards the left-hand corner of the goal. Past a helpless Mark Flecken. Craven Cottage erupted. Harry Wilson headed towards the corner to celebrate with the fans. It was a tough watch for them at times tonight. Their side dominated, but they were kept at bay by a stubborn Brentford defence that almost fell to pieces in stoppage time. Incredible scenes here at Craven Cottage. Fulham, who trail going into second half stoppage time, lead by 2-1. Harry Wilson with 2 goals in stoppage time. And he is going to be the hero for the Cottagers this evening, unless Brentford have one more repulse. They have the ball in the corner, but the ball cleared away. Harry Wilson had scored before tonight. He's got 2 in the space of 7 minutes. And perhaps unsurprisingly, he's picked up the Player of the Match award. He's been the game changer for the Cottagers, and he's also picked up a yellow card for his celebration for the second, but he won't care as the full-time whistle goes, and it's Harry Wilson who has turned this game on its head for Fulham, the man who has carved out the 3 points for the Cottagers. 2 goals in stoppage time, turning a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 win. Great respect for both managers at the end of the game. A frantic end at Craven Cottage as Fulham nick the 3 points from Brentford, who once again find themselves on the wrong end of the scoreline, having found themselves in a winning position. That's now 14 points they have dropped from winning positions this season. And that is now their 6th consecutive away defeat in London derbies. Harry Wilson getting mobbed by his teammates, and deservedly so. Every single one of them coming up to hug him. An inspired substitution by Marco Silva. An inspired last few minutes from Fulham. But it did look like for a long time they were not going to break down a stubborn Brentford defence. The Bees, who took the lead midway through the first half, Vitali Janelt strike midway through the first half, giving them a lead up until second half stoppage time, when Harry Wilson, who